facing foreclosure. This video will reveal the 5 things that can be done to make sure your finances and your family stay safe and you in control. And if you stick through to the very end, I'll tell you the one thing never to do. Be sure to watch through. My name is Bryce Spraggins, founder of MyFairMarketOffer.com. We specialize in buying problem property, whether that's facing foreclosure, reverse mortgages, inherited property, property and probate, title issues, anything and everything in between. If it's a problem for you, we're going to buy it. We pride ourselves in transparency and making win-win solutions so that everybody's happy at the closing table. If you're looking for an offer from us, go to www.myfairmarketoffer.com, submit the form, and we'll be in touch with you very shortly. Thanks. Option 1, loan modification. This is going to be the best option if you just got behind on payments. Right now you can make your normal monthly mortgage payment. If you weren't so far behind, you just can't catch up. Everybody knows how mortgage companies are. If you send them $5 short, they're going to reject it. So loan modification is going to be the best for that. Every mortgage company has a loss mitigation department. Just Google your bank, loss mitigation, give them a call, say you want a loan modification, and what they'll do a lot of times is take everything that's owed, past due, add it to the back, restart your monthly payments, and then you're caught up, you're good to go, and that burden's off your back. But what if you can't make your normal monthly payment right now? Let's move on to option 2 and see what that looks like. Option number 2, and this is my least favorite, mainly because people abuse it and they use it as a way to kind of hack the system. But this is hiring an attorney to fight foreclosure, which we work with attorneys. We have attorneys that we would recommend to fight foreclosure, but the ones we work with are going to do it ethically, and they're going to say, hey, we need to have some goals at the end of this. We're fighting the foreclosure, but 99.9% of the time you're going to lose that battle. The bank's going to win. Not because they're crazy and have all kinds of power and money and stuff to hire attorneys, but 9 times out of 10 people sign the mortgage. I mean, it's right. If you're not paying, and you sign the mortgage, so it's a right way to get through it. So 99% of the time you're going to lose that legal battle. I have seen people do it unethically, where they've prolonged the foreclosure judgment, which is the order from the judge actually authorizing the bank to sell the property at the foreclosure auction. I've seen that been delayed 7 years, 10 years, 12 years, 15 years, because attorneys are playing legal games with the courts and purposely prolonging it and prolonging it and prolonging it. Having said that, though, I will say if there's some sort of crazy extenuating circumstance, hire an attorney and fight it, absolutely. But 99.9% of the time, if you're going to hire an attorney to fight it, what you're really doing is just prolonging it a little bit so that you can have some time to maybe save up what those mortgage payments would have been, maybe save for a year. That way when you do lose the foreclosure proceeding, when the bank is authorized to sell, you have a little bit of a nest egg where you can hire a U-Haul, you can hire a moving company, you can put your deposit down on your rental place. You have a soft place to land. So that, in my opinion, is a reason to ethically do it. If you got yourself in a bad situation, life happens, I get it. I've been there personally, so I definitely get it, where life happens, you get knocked down, and you got to build yourself back up. So I get that, but that's the way that I would do option number 2. Again, hire an attorney, fight the foreclosure proceeding. We'll just move on to option number 3 now. Also requires hiring an attorney, and we'll get right in. Option 3, bankruptcy. As I said before, you're going to have to hire an attorney to go through the bankruptcy process. I am not an attorney. None of this entire video should be considered legal advice. So if you need an attorney, contact one and get legal advice that way. But bankruptcy is going to be option 3. It's a good option if you could make your mortgage payment if all your other debt was wiped out. So you'll be filing bankruptcy. The bankruptcy courts will handle taking all of your consumer debt, getting rid of that, and reaffirming your home that you live in as your homesteaded property. And with that, they'll basically force the bank to do a loan modification on your behalf, and that can help you get back on your feet. And that way you don't lose your house and all your other debts wiped out, and you can get back to kind of life as normal or business as normal. So bankruptcy can definitely be a good option. The courts will take everything over, so if you're hiding money anywhere, that's going to be gone. They're going to use that, so be careful with any of that. But bankruptcy can be a good option. A lot of times you can file bankruptcy day before or day of an auction, and it immediately stops the foreclosure auction. So that can kind of be a good thing to do if you're on your last leg, if you've ignored it for too long, and now you actually need to do something about it before your home sold out from under your feet. So that's option 3. Option 4 is deed in lieu of foreclosure. This is basically you've given up and you're just going to sign the deed back over to the mortgage company, back to the bank. Please don't do this. If you're to the point where you just want to walk away, give me a call. Go to my website, www.myfairmarketoffer.com. Fill out the form. Let us get in touch with you. We'll be able to get you walking away with at least some money in your pocket, at least some extra money to help you move, help you put down a deposit onto a new rental or something of that nature. But a deed in lieu of foreclosure is the legal way to sign the deed back over to the mortgage company without them having to go through the entire foreclosure process. And it will become an asset for the bank, which they will then eventually sell as a what's called an REO, or real estate owned, basically a property that the bank owns at that point. I've seen it done, but please don't do this option. There's definitely better options that we can help you navigate that will at least get you away with some walking away money. So that's option 4. Moving on to option 5 is where we excel, and I'll get into that here now. Option 5, selling your property. This is a good option if you can no longer afford the mortgage payment, if you've already done a loan modification, if you've already done bankruptcy, if you don't really want to go through the hassle of doing a loan modification or bankruptcy, and you know where you're going to go, you know you've got a soft spot to land, or if you just want to be done with the house itself. Again, don't do the deed in lieu of foreclosure and just sign it over to the bank. This is a much better way to do it. We will handle everything. If the auction is in 2 days, we can still stop it. If it's in a day, we can stop it. And we will pay for it. We'll make sure the auction is stopped. We will make sure that the foreclosure process is halted to give us time to close on the property. In most cases, we can close in 2 weeks. If probate needs to be done, that's transferring property from, if it's inherited property, if it was your mom or dad's property and they're actually foreclosing on your parents or anybody you inherited it from, we will pay for the probate. We have, in my opinion, the best probate attorney in Jacksonville. She knows all the judges, and we've turned one around in about a day, less than a day, I think, for an emergency summary proceeding to turn a probate around. So we can get things done quickly. We do this every day. We do this for a living. So whatever needs to be done, we're going to be able to stop the foreclosure. We're going to be able to transfer title from a parent's name or if an inherited property to your name, and then we will make sure that we can purchase the property from you. And again, we like transparency, we like win-win solutions, so we're going to make sure you walk away with something, soft place to land, a little bit of money so that can help you move, something. We don't want you to ever walk away with nothing. And then and like I said, we can close really quickly. So if that's the option you want to go, we were happy to take over everything. We'll make it real easy for you. All you'll have to do is sign once up front, just some starting paperwork. and then sign the closing docs at the end, usually about 2 weeks later, unless you want us to move slower. But that's selling your property, and you can do that whether you have equity or not. Either way, we will take care of it and make sure that you get a fair market offer on the property. And now we'll talk about the one thing never ever to do. Don't do it. It's very bad. Coming up next. Do not, under any circumstances, ignore the problem. If you do, what will happen is what I'm seeing right now. From the first time it's filed to foreclosure, it's filed with what's called the lis pendens. It's Latin for litigation pending. It's the first thing that's filed with the courts, where the mortgage company notifies the courts, such and such hasn't made a payment, we are going to foreclose to try to recoup our costs. That's the first thing, the lis pendens. From that, tell where your house is being sold at the auction block. If you do nothing and ignore it 100% of the time, right now I'm seeing dates in between about 6 to 8 months. So that's about how long the entire foreclosure process is going to happen if you do nothing. If you don't contact anybody, if you don't try to negotiate anything, it'll take 6 to 8 months. If that happens, your property will get sold at auction and you'll be evicted from your house by the new owner. It's awful. You won't get anything. It's embarrassing. You'll have a foreclosure on your credit report. It's all kinds of bad. So whatever you do, don't just stick your head in the sand. I've done that before myself, so no judgment. But don't stick your head in the sand. Let's deal with it. There's so many options and so many ways to get everything taken care of. Just don't do nothing. And that's all the things you can do for your foreclosure. Thanks so much for watching.